The hotel hall shone with warm lights, soft music, and small, gentle voices. It was a charity night, friendly and calm. The staff moved like a quiet team, and the guests smiled in clean suits and dresses. At the center stood Adrian Hale, the billionaire's son. Tall, neat, and full of easy charm, he greeted people with care, shook hands with respect, and spoke simple jokes that made the room relax. Near the back doors worked Maya, a kind waitress with steady hands. She carried water and bread with smooth steps. Her black hair was tied, her shirt was crisp. Her eyes were soft but strong. She moved with quiet pride, she loved her work, and she did it well. Tonight she was not alone. Her daughter Lena, a careful teen with a shy smile, waited by the service table. Lena held a small music book close to her chest. The book was worn on the edges, like a friend that had traveled everywhere with her. "Stay near me," Maya told her daughter between tables. "Listen, be calm, and remember we are here to help." "I will." "Mama," Lena said with a nod. Her voice was small but bright. She looked at the big chandelier and the stage in the front. The stage had a piano, a single mic, and a little sign that said, "Open moment for charity, 2 minutes per guest." The little sign made Lena's heart tap faster. She had sung after school many times, not for crowds, but for herself. For her mother and for simple joy, Adrian stepped onto the stage for the welcome. He thanked the guests, the staff, and the donors. He spoke about music and kindness. He said that music could open a door inside people. He lifted the mood with a light line. "If someone sings Mozart tonight, I might marry them," he joked. The room laughed, cameras clicked. Some guests clapped with a playful cheer. It was a simple joke, a party kind of joke, not meant for weight. But the words traveled across the hall and landed on Lena's ears like a spark. She pressed the music book to her heart. Her cheeks grew warm. She knew Mozart from school choir videos and free lessons at the community center. She had practiced small parts at home, softly after homework when the apartment was quiet. She knew the air and the shape of some phrases. She did not know if she was ready, but the thought stood there, bright and stubborn. Maya saw the small change in her daughter's face. She knew that look. It was the look that came when Lena found a melody inside her. "Breathe," Maya whispered kindly as she passed with a tray. "Tonight is work time." "I know." "Mama," Lena answered. She looked down again at the book. She traced the cover with one finger. The music for the dinner started, a piano and a soft bass, a calm rhythm that helped conversation move. The chef sent out the first plates. Steam and gentle herbs rose in the air. Maya served with happy care. She gave water, she gave smiles. She listened and nodded. At one table, an older teacher named Ms. Rivera sat with other community guests. Ms. Rivera worked at a local school and loved music more than sleep. She noticed the girl at the service table holding a worn book. She noticed the tender way the girl watched the piano. During a break, Adrian walked from table to table again. He met Ms. Rivera. They spoke about the music classes the charity supported. "Real music education changes lives," Ms. Rivera said. "Even 1 hour a week can open a path. I believe you," Adrian said. His eyes were kind, his voice was calm. He did not know yet that a path was already opening at the edge of the room. The open moment sign on the stage drew a few brave guests. One man told a sweet joke, a woman read 2 lines of a poem. A small group sang a short, happy song. The hall stayed friendly. Lights soft, sound gentle. Each time someone finished, the room clapped with respect. Lena's heart kept a rhythm under her dress. Not fast, just steady. A drum behind a door. She looked at the piano. She could almost feel the keys under her hands. Even though she did not play, she could hear a clean phrase float in her mind. A phrase she had learned from a free video. "You do not need everything," she told herself in secret. "You only need breath, you only need care." Near the kitchen pass, Maya paused and brushed a curl from Lena's forehead. "You are safe," she said softly. "We are okay." "Mama," Lena asked in a whisper, "if someone wanted to sing for charity, would that be wrong?" Maya looked into her daughter's eyes. She saw the wish there, she saw fear, and she saw light. "It would not be wrong," she said, "but it must be respectful, calm, and short. We are guests in their plan. From the front," Adrian's voice came again, warm and bright. "Thank you for every kind act tonight," he said. "If anyone wants to share a small talent for the charity, the mic is open for 1 minute." The room stirred. A few heads turned. The piano player looked ready. Ms. Rivera stood from her chair and slowly walked toward the service table. She did not rush. She simply arrived near Lena and gave a gentle nod. She spoke in a quiet voice. "Do you like music?" "Yes," Lena said. Her face tried to stay strong, but her hands told the truth. They tightened around the book. "I can see that," Ms. Rivera smiled. "If you ever want a safe moment, I can speak to the stage manager for you." "Only if you wish," Lena looked at her mother. Maya's eyes asked a full question without a word. Lena breathed in, then out. "1 minute," Lena whispered. "Only if Mama agrees." Maya held her daughter's hand for a soft second. "If you go," she said, "go with grace." Ms. Rivera walked to the side curtain and spoke to the stage manager. The manager glanced toward the service table. Then back to the stage, he nodded kindly. The pianist adjusted the bench. Adrian, holding the mic, looked toward the back. He saw a young girl with a simple dress and a small book. He saw a mother in a server's apron, proud and calm. He saw a teacher with a light in her eyes. He lifted the mic and said, "Friends, we have one more small gift tonight." Lena stepped into the aisle. Her knees felt like soft paper, but her spine stayed straight. She walked past tables and careful smiles. She heard forks set down and chairs slide in. She felt the lights grow warmer on her face. She reached the first step to the stage and touched the rail. At the edge of the stage, she turned and looked back. Her mother stood near the door with her hands together. Not nervous, just present, Ms. Rivera gave a tiny thumbs up. The room became quiet in a gentle way. Not heavy, just ready. Lena placed her book on the piano. She did not open it. She did not need to. The pianist asked in a whisper, "Key?" She hummed 2 notes, soft and sure. In that pause, the line from earlier floated again through the hall. "If someone sings Mozart tonight?" It had been a joke then, simple and light now. The room waited for something else, not a joke, not a test, but a true sound from a true heart. Lena lifted her chin, took 1 clean breath, and opened her mouth to sing. Lena stood at the mic. The hall felt bigger than before. The lights were warm, the air quiet. She could hear the soft buzz of the piano amp and the slow breath of the room. The stage manager gave her a kind nod. The pianist kept his hands ready, and Maya by the door pressed her palms together in steady peace. Ms. Rivera waited near the side curtain with hopeful eyes. Before Lena could sing, a small thing happened. The mic slipped lower on the stand. The screw was loose, it wobbled. A few guests smiled in a friendly way. A few others whispered. Adrian stepped forward at once. He turned the screw with calm hands and lifted the mic to the right height. "There," he said in a soft voice the whole room could hear. "Take your time." He stepped back and gave the stage to her. Lena breathed in and tried 1 note. It came out thin like a thread. A couple of people shifted in their chairs. She paused. She looked at the pianist and hummed the key again. The pianist answered with 2 light notes and a gentle smile. Somewhere in the center, a guest with a phone lowered the camera as if to say, "No pressure, we can wait." From the back, a server whispered to Maya, "We will plate the next course soon." Maya nodded and sent back a calm sign. It meant 1 minute is okay, we can manage. Maya turned her eyes to her daughter. The message on her face was simple. "You are safe, breathe." Adrian stood near the edge of the stage, his earlier joke still alive in a few minds. He felt a small weight inside and knew it was his task to keep the air kind. He raised the mic again for a moment. "Friends," he said in an easy tone, "a short note before we begin. Tonight is about learning, about chances, about respect. Let us give a good space to every small voice." He set the mic back and folded his hands. The room grew more still. Lena opened her music book, then closed it. She did not need the paper. She placed 1 finger on the wooden edge of the piano. It grounded her. She remembered the small room at home, the old fan, the line of light on the wall at sunset. She remembered practicing a short phrase in a simple way. Clean. Honest, no rush. She lifted her chin. At that same second, a new turn came from the side aisle. A kind woman from the hotel staff moved closer with a sign card. It read, "Open moment, 1 minute." She set it on a stand near the stage to remind everyone of the time. It was not a warning, only a gentle rule for fairness. But rules can feel like clocks. The seconds became real in the air, Miss. Rivera noticed the sign and smiled at Lena with her eyes. A signal that said 1 minute is enough. 1 real minute can hold a whole story. The pianist rested his hands on the keys. Waiting for her breath, Lena gave a tiny nod, and he offered the starting notes again. She sang the first line in soft voice, not high, not brave, just true. The tone sat right on the notes. The hall listened. A fork set down on a plate with a small tap, then stopped. A waiter froze mid-step and chose a slower path around the back. The sound tech, near the wall, lowered the master volume a little to keep the room natural. The first phrase finished, a space opened. It was quiet in that space. The first real challenge arrived. Not from the room, but from inside her. A quick thought flashed. Too fast to catch. What if I'm not enough? She felt it in her chest, a tiny snag in the fabric of her calm. The note after that came out lighter than she wanted. She saw two guests glance at each other. Not in a cruel way, just in a curious way. She could feel their curiosity like wind against a door. Adrian saw the moment. His face did not change, but his eyes did. He gave a single slow nod, the kind a teacher gives when a student stands at the board and needs a second breath. Rivera placed a hand over her heart. The pianist held the tempo steady, giving Lena a safe road with white lines and clear turns. Lena chose a simple idea. She shaped the next words like a conversation. She did not chase power. She chose clarity. Each vowel opened like a small window. Each consonant rested softly on the frame. The tone warmed. The piano followed. The room leaned closer, a whole hall learning the language of small courage. Near the kitchen door, Maya felt her shoulders drop in relief. She had one hand on the service rail and one on her apron. She did not want tears tonight. She wanted balance. Her daughter was making a balanced sound, clean and kind. A server next to her whispered. She has a gift, Maya answered. She has discipline, and smiled. Midway through the minute, another turn arrived. A light buzz came from the ceiling speaker on the left. It was not loud, but it was there. The sound tech noticed it once and cut that channel. The buzz faded. Lena's line stayed calm. She rode over the little wave the way a careful boat rides over a small ripple. Feet planted, eyes forward. The phrase she chose to end with was bright but reachable, not the highest note she knew, but the most honest one. She aimed there step by step, like walking up a clear stair. As she reached it, her voice did something new. It did not become bigger. It became still, like a glass surface without wind. The simple stillness filled the space between tables. The joke from earlier had no place inside that stillness. The minute had changed from play to respect. Not heavy, but true. She finished the line and rested in a soft breath. The pianist laid a gentle chord. He did not rush to end. He let the chord breathe. The stage manager lifted one finger. It meant 10 seconds left, enough for one last small phrase. Lena chose a quiet echo, a closing bow in sound. She placed it carefully and set it down like a cup on a table, steady and sure. Silence arrived. Not empty, but full. Then hands began to come together. Not loud at first, then warmer, then firm. It was not only praise, it was thanks. Adrian did not clap first. He waited a beat. Letting the room decide, then he joined, and the hall rose to its feet at different times. Like lights turning on across a calm city, Lena looked to her mother. Maya put a hand over her mouth and then lowered it with a laugh that was more breath than voice. She nodded, not wild, just bright Ms. Rivera gave a small cheer. The pianist closed the fallboard a little and stood. The stage manager checked the schedule, murmured to a colleague, and lifted his hand to guide the next part of the evening. Adrian walked to the mic. He did not stand in front of Lena. He stood beside her like a neighbor. "Thank you," he said to the room. "And thank you to our guest for giving us a clear minute." He turned his head to Lena. "You kept your promise and sang with grace." He looked back to the audience. "We will continue our dinner and we will keep this feeling with us." He did not repeat his old line. He did not need to. He added only, "Kind talent needs open doors." Then he stepped away so Lena could bow without any other shape beside her. Lena bowed from the waist, simple and clean. She picked up her book, and as she left the stage, the first turn of the night was complete. A small open mic had turned into a quiet proof. A minute had turned into a path, and a light joke had turned into a lesson everyone could feel but no one needed to spell out. She walked down the steps toward her mother, and the hall moved forward. Different by a gentle degree. The clapping faded into soft talk. The piano lid rested. The hall returned to a calm hum. Lena stepped off the stage with careful feet. She held her book close. Her hands were steady now. Maya met her at the bottom of the steps. They did not hug hard. They shared a simple smile that said everything. "Water?" Maya asked. "Yes, please," Lena said. A nearby server handed a glass. Lena drank in small sips. "Ms. Rivera joined them with a gentle nod. "You used your minute well," she said. "Clear tone." Clear breath. Thank you, Lena answered. I tried to keep it simple. That is wisdom, Miss Rivera smiled. Simple can be strong. Adrian came down from the side stairs so he would not block the aisle. He kept his voice low. Thank you for sharing your art, he said to Lena. If you want, you may join the pianist later for one short encore. Lena looked at Maya first. Maya thought about timing, plates, and staff flow. Maybe after the main course, Maya said kindly. If the manager agrees. Adrian nodded. I will ask. He stepped away to speak with the stage manager and the chef. He moved with respect for the work around him. Back in the kitchen pass, the chef signaled the next wave of plates. Steam lifted in neat lines. The staff formed a smooth chain. Maya returned to service with focus. Lena stayed by the service table. She helped in small, safe ways. Folded napkins, checked water jugs, kept the path clear. A guest approached Maya at the side. Your daughter has a gift, she said. Thank you, Maya replied with a calm smile. She practices after school. At the tech booth. The sound tech replayed 10 seconds of the recording in his headphones. It sounded clean. He adjusted a small setting to protect from any buzz later. The pianist checked a page and warmed his hands. The stage manager reviewed the plan. Dinner, 2 short toasts, then maybe Lena's encore if time stayed kind. Ms. Rivera took a moment with Lena. If you sing again, she said, choose a short piece with a soft end. I know one, Lena said. It feels like a quiet light. Good, Ms. Rivera said. Light is best tonight. A tiny obstacle appeared. It was not loud, it was ordinary. A guest near the center wanted the mic for a surprise toast. The schedule was tight. The manager weighed the minutes. Adrian listened and chose balance, 1 short toast, he said. Then the encore, the manager agreed. He set a timer on his watch. The toast went well. It was bright, positive, and quick. People smiled. The timer buzzed in the manager's pocket. He gave a small signal toward the pianist. The room settled again. Adrian spoke into the mic with a warm tone. We have one more gift, he said. A short encore from our young guest. He stepped aside. Lena walked to the stage without rush. She bowed to the pianist. He offered the first notes. She let her shoulders drop and felt the floor under her shoes. She did not think about the earlier joke. She did not think about cameras. She thought about home, about the window at sunset. About a tune that fit inside 1 minute, she sang. It was smaller than before, but deeper. Each line carried kindness, not power. The room did not cheer during the song, it listened. A server paused with a tray. A guest set his phone down and simply watched. Near the final phrase, a tray clinked in the back. It could have broken her focus, it did not. She held the line steady, set the last note down like a soft lantern, and let it glow for a single breath. Silence again, then warm applause. The manager looked relieved. The chef sent the next signal. The night found its shape. Adrian returned to the mic. Clear, honest, and generous, he said. Thank you. He turned to the charity board at the front table. They exchanged a glance that meant an idea was forming. Maya met Lena by the steps once more. Service will finish soon, she said. Yes, Mama, Lena replied. I will help. The work resumed. But something new walked beside it. It was not noise, not fame. Just a good feeling. A steady line of respect. People ate, people talked, and the room carried a quiet brightness. The night had more to give, but for now, effort and kindness were enough. Dinner plates cleared, the room settled into a slow, warm rhythm. The encore glow still lived in the air, but the night moved on. The charity board sat together at the front table with quiet focus. They spoke in short notes, then looked toward Adrian. He listened with care and walked to the stage manager. A plan was forming. It sounded good, but it needed steps. The board wanted to support young music students with small scholarships. They wished to start tonight. They also wanted fairness, clear rules, and calm order. No rush, no showy prizes, something honest. Usable, clean. Adrian returned to the mic. His tone was gentle. Friends, our board hopes to fund music lessons for local students, he said. We can begin with 3 small awards tonight. The room grew brighter. He added, to be fair, we will invite short, simple auditions in a quiet side room, not on stage. Then our teacher partner will choose with clear eyes. A small stir moved through the hall. It was not loud, just human. Some guests loved the idea at once. A few looked unsure. A man near the center raised his hand and spoke in a polite voice. What about the waitress's daughter? He asked. She sang already on the main stage. Is that fair to others? The question was not cruel, but it landed like a neat stone on a glass table. People waited. Maya stood straight by the service door. She did not shrink, Adrian answered calmly. Good question, to keep it fair. Every student, including our brave guest, will use the same side room and the same time rule. He looked toward Ms. Rivera. Will you help us run the room? With honor, Ms. Rivera said. The deeper challenge was set. Not danger, but structure, not noise, but rules. Lena would need to sing again, not for applause, but for a quiet, careful ear, and she would do it beside other students. Each with their own hope and minute. The stage manager set the space fast and kind. A small meeting room became the audition room. 2 chairs, a music stand, a simple keyboard, a timer on the table. Ms. Rivera would sit with another teacher from the charity partner. The door would stay open for comfort. The line would form outside. Maya walked Lena to the hallway. Staff passed by with trays and soft steps. This is different, Maya said, not warning, just naming. Yes, Lena answered, no crowd, only ears. Do you feel okay? I feel steady, Lena said. I will sing the same kind light. At the line, 2 teens were already waiting. One boy hummed scales under his breath. A girl checked a sheet of chords. They both smiled at Lena, not sharp, just normal. Ms. Rivera came out and gave instructions. 1 minute, 1 short piece or a clean phrase. We listened for breath, tone, control, and care, she smiled at each student. You do not need to be big. You need to be true. A new small obstacle arose. The keyboard stand had 1 loose leg. It wobbled. The sound tech arrived with a toolkit, tightened the knob, tested 1 chord and nodded. The room was ready. The boy went first. He sang a folk line, steady and brave. The girl followed with a bright pop phrase, neat and warm. Lena listened and felt calm respect for both. When Ms. Rivera said, next please, Lena stepped in. She placed her book on the stand. She did not open it. The timer sat at 0. Ms. Rivera's eyes were kind but clear. It felt like a classroom, not a stage. Lena drew a slow breath. She remembered the encore stillness. She set her mind on a small, honest path. The timer began. Lena sang a quiet phrase, then another. Her voice was not larger here. It was cleaner. The room held her sound like a small cup holds clear water. Outside, soft footsteps passed. Inside, the note settled. The deeper challenge was not to impress. It was to be exact. She shaped the last line, set it down, and let the timer blink to 1 second. Then stop. Thank you, Ms. Rivera said, with the simple tone of a teacher who sees the work as it is. No applause, only a nod. Lena bowed small, stepped out, and joined her mother in the hallway breath. The night would choose later. For now, the test was steady and fair. The side room line grew shorter. The timer clicked again and again. Names were checked. Voices came and went. The board waited at the front table for the teacher's notes. The hall stayed warm and calm. The charity night held its shape. Adrian stood by the doorway for a moment and watched the steady flow. He liked the fairness. He also saw a quiet limit. 1 minute was fine for a choice, but not enough for real growth. He looked toward the stage, toward the piano, toward the hotel's small meeting rooms. A thought rose like a clear sign, simple and useful. He walked to the manager and spoke in a low voice. Do we have a small room with a piano that sits empty in the mornings? We do, the manager said. The maple room. The piano needs a tune, but the space is quiet. Could we open it twice a week for students? Free practice, sign up only, 1 hour each? Adrian asked. The manager thought about security, keys and staff. If we set a list and a guard checks names, yes, we can. Adrian thanked him and went to the piano player. Would you do a short workshop once a month? The pianist smiled. Gladly, 1 hour, simple steps, breath, phrasing. That would help. He found Ms. Rivera next. She had finished the last audition and held a clipboard with tidy marks. We can give 3 small awards tonight, she said. But these students need time, not only applause, and I agree, Adrian said. I want to start a practice plan. The hotel will open a room 2 mornings a week. You can oversee a fair sign-up. We add 1 monthly workshop. We keep it simple and safe. Miss Rivera's smile widened. That is how paths grow, not in a moment, but in many mornings. He returned to the board table. He explained the plan in clear lines. 3 scholarships now, he said. Plus a practice pass program, open to all who tried tonight. Free room, Fair schedule, basic rules, we start next week. The board looked at each other and nodded. It was clean, it was kind, it could last. A small obstacle appeared at once. The piano tuner could not come for 10 days. The maple room piano would be sharp in the upper notes. The manager frowned. It may not be ideal, Ms. Rivera solved the worry with a teacher's calm. Then we begin with breath and sight reading. We teach rhythm on the table. We use a keyboard for pitch in the first week. Music is more than one instrument. The obstacle turned into a step, not a wall. In the hallway, Maya stood with Lena. They did not ask for results. They waited with quiet hearts. Adrian approached them with respect. "Thank you for trusting our process," he said. "Whatever tonight's decision is, I want you to know about a new plan. We will open a practice room twice a week. You and every student who came tonight can sign up. No fee." Lena's eyes grew bright. "Time to practice is the best gift," she said. Maya's shoulders eased. "Time makes skill," she answered. "This is good." Back in the hall, the lights softened for the announcement. The board chair spoke first. "We are grateful for every student who sang," she said. "We will name 3 scholarship recipients, and we will also begin a practice pass program for all students here." A warm murmur moved across the room. Heads turned, people smiled. This felt fair, this felt strong. Adrian took the mic. "This is not a contest to crown one star," he said. "This is a door that stays open. We will fund lessons for 3 students and open a room for all who showed courage tonight. We grow together, lesson by lesson." The breakthrough was not big noise. It was a clear structure. It was a calendar, a key, a sign-up sheet. It was mornings set aside for quiet work. It was the kind of idea that holds a person up when the applause is gone. It was the shape of hope with steps you can climb. Maya looked at Lena and squeezed her hand once. Not tight, just sure. "This is the path," she said. "Yes," Lena answered. "I will walk it one morning at a time." The lights softened. The room held a gentle hush. The board chair read 3 names with care. The boy who sang the steady folk line, the girl with the bright pop phrase, and Lena. The hall breathed out together. Then warm applause rose like a kind wave. Maya stood still by the door, one hand on her apron, one on her heart. She did not shout, she only smiled, a calm, deep smile that came from years of steady work. Lena looked at her mother first, then at Miss Rivera, then at Adrian. She bowed her head once in thanks, not big, just true. Adrian stepped to the mic with quiet joy. "To our 3 recipients, we offer 12 months of lessons," he said. "To every student who tried tonight, we offer the practice pass 2 mornings a week, with a safe sign-up and a mentor on duty." The room clapped again. Not louder, just warmer. The chef rolled out a simple dessert, small plates with a soft shine. He had added a chocolate note on top shaped like a tiny treble clef. He winked from the pass and lifted a thumb. The staff moved in a smooth line. Service kept its rhythm. Near the stage, the pianist held up a folder. "I will give a short guide for breath and phrasing," he said. "Free for all students who attend the first morning," Ms. Rivera added. "We will bring a clean keyboard until the piano is tuned," the manager said. "The guard will keep the list fair." A plan had become a circle of hands. Simple and strong, Adrian invited the 3 students to the front for a small photo, but he stood to the side. He wanted the frame to hold the students first. The board chair spoke one more line. "We thank our hotel partners and our staff," she said. "Great nights are made by many quiet hands." The staff received a round of applause, and Maya dipped her head with grace. A small surprise arrived. The sound tech whispered to Adrian, then handed him a tablet. The early recording of Lena's first minute had clear audio. "May I share 30 seconds on our charity page?" Adrian asked. "Only if your family agrees." He looked to Maya and Lena. Maya said, "Only if the clip is simple and kind." Adrian nodded. "Only simple and kind." He posted the short clip with a clear caption. "Local students, real courage, open doors." Within minutes, donations began to ping on the board's phone. Small amounts, steady and bright, $5, $10, $20. A pattern of care. The board treasurer smiled for the first time that night in a wide way. "These are the best numbers," she said. Little gifts from many people. Guests stopped by the service door to thank Maya. They spoke with respect. "Your daughter sings with heart," one said. "Your work tonight helped us all breathe," Maya answered. "Thank you for listening to her minute." Lena found the boy and the girl by the side curtain. Your songs were strong, she said, the boy replied. Your quiet note was like a clear window, the girl added. Let's meet at the first morning, they laughed softly. Not as rivals, but as new partners in effort. Adrian joined them and gave each student a simple folder. Inside was a schedule page, a practice log, and a note that said, keep the door open for others. He did not sign his last name. Only Adrian Neighbor, it felt right for this night. The room began to thin. Coats came off hooks. Goodbyes were gentle. Maya tied her apron strings and finished her station. Lena helped stack clean glasses on a cart. Work did not end because joy had happened. Work and joy walked side by side. Before they left, Adrian spoke one last time. Thank you for turning a joke into a lesson and a plan, he said. Tonight we learned that small minutes can build long paths. The guests agreed with soft applause. The pianist closed the piano lid with care. The sign that once said open moment 1 minute was carried out like a little flag. Ready for the next time, Maya and Lena stepped into the cool night air. The city lights were steady, not loud. Lena held the folder against her coat. Maya slipped her hand through her daughter's arm. They walked to the bus stop without rush. A quiet, grateful line between them, and a new morning waiting. Morning came with a pale sky and quiet streets. The maple room smelled like wood and clean paper. A guard checked a short list. Students signed in with shy smiles. Miss Rivera opened a window. The cool air felt fresh. A simple keyboard waited on a stand. A round clock watched from the wall. Lena placed her folder on the table and wrote the date on the practice log. The boy and the girl from the charity night waved from the doorway. They took chairs near the front. Adrian entered with a notebook and sat in the back. Not as a boss, as a helper, he would listen, take notes, and move chairs if needed, Ms. Rivera began with breath. Hands on your ribs, she said. Let the air move like a small tide. Everyone breathed in. Breathed out, slow and steady. The room made a soft ocean. The pianist arrived with a travel mug and a quiet grin. He showed how a phrase rises and rests, how a line of sound sits on the air like a small bird on a branch. They practiced 1-minute phrases. Each student took a turn. The timer beeped gently. No applause, only nods. After each turn, a small note. Soften this vowel. Save your breath for the last step. Trust the quiet. The advice felt like clean stones in a path. Easy to step on. Maya peeked in during her break from a nearby shift. She stood by the door, proud and calm. She did not say much, her eyes said enough. Lena sang her minute and wrote down 3 words. Breath, shape, rest. She underlined rest twice. It helped her finish gently. At the end, Adrian spoke in a light tone. Next week, we add a second morning, he said. We will keep a fair list. We will keep the door open. He held up a simple rule card. No food near the keyboard. Be kind to time, leave the room better than you found it. The students nodded. It felt like a small club made of care. The days began to stack like neat books. Weeks passed. The piano came back tuned and bright. The guard learned everyone's first names. The practice logs filled with steady lines. Sometimes a student brought a friend to sit and listen. Sometimes they traded roles. One sang, one turned pages in quiet hours. Even the empty room felt like a teacher. It held echoes of patient work one afternoon. The charity page posted the short clip again with a new caption. Practice pass update, 50 students, 4 weeks. Many small steps, donations kept coming in small amounts. A music shop sent a box of pencils and blank staff paper. A local bakery sent a tray of simple rolls for the next morning. Kindness made its own schedule and showed up on time. A month later, the hotel hosted a daytime open house. Not a show, a sharing. Students offered 1 minute each. Plus 1 line about what they learned, the boy said. I learned to sing like I am talking to a friend, the girl said. I learned to keep my breath like a candle cup, Lena said. I learned that quiet can be strong. Maya stood nearby. Full but calm, Adrian gave a short final thank you. A light joke started our night, he said. But your steady minutes built something real. He turned toward the staff. The teachers, the guard, the pianist. Many hands made a simple door and kept it open. As the room emptied, Lena walked the hallway with her mother. The carpet muted their steps. They passed a mirror and saw 2 people who looked the same as before, and also a little different, not taller, not louder, just clearer. At the bus stop, a soft wind moved their coats. Lena held the folder against her side. Mama, she said. I will keep singing 1 minute at a time. Maya smiled. 1 minute can change a day, she answered. Many minutes can shape a life, final line. A small voice given a fair chance and steady time can turn a room into a school, a joke into a plan, and a plan into hope that lasts.